So my design phototype is about a clothing can be assigned, and also this sign can stand for good for young people. So this is Too Cool Fashions. It's more than cool. My research question is, within the means of Too Cool Fashions, how to open a discourse exploring the underlying life narrative of Chinese Gen Z communities arising from the domestic migrations and urbanization. And so first part as what is too cool. Too cool is a rustic style that is against the mainstream and it used the vernacular elements from the city periphery as a visual blueprint to produce a theoretical, playful, and magical visual narrative style. It constitutes a special visual vernacular design style in the fashion industry. I argue that the essence of Too Cool fashion is the utilization of fashions as a symbol to convey the realized status of the working class young adults who has migrated from the suburban to the urban environment. Too Cool fashion reflects the contradictions between the transformations of the social structures and the changes in the social status of the first tier and other tier youngs under the rapid developments of China economy. Those Gen Z who used to be from the city peripheries are eager to get more attentions. For my final project, I will visualize how Too Cool fashions using semiotic as my theoretical support, experimenting with Too Cool fashion symbol as a narrative to tell the modern life of this group of young people. After reading The Fashion System Roland Barthes, but also by The New Modernism by Ben Durow, it's given me the new ideas that none of the clothing items or clothing itself have any meaning without the language descriptions. I try to connect with the semiotic and talking about how I'm gonna go through my project. So first of all, what I'm trying to convey by this same sign is that Too Cool fashion is not just a fashion style controlling by capitalism. It can stand for a group for young workers who came from the Chinese city periphery and was working in the city center. So at my design reference, I use Vanidad, the third insurgents at my reference. In her project is conveyed with 5 different jackets, can stand for 5 different gender gangs in the virtual world. What I'm trying to say that physical clothes can be seen as a signifier after the language descriptions about the different groups of people. These clothes no longer be just a simple physical clothes, which is only for the utilizations, but also it can stand for different communities. So this is my main idea. This is how I'm gonna transform the semiotic but also connect with my theoretical support. I will give more explanations after that. First of all, about the signifier is about how I'm gonna make this physical clothes. I target with 50 Gen Z from the city center, who they are from Guangzhou, Shanghai, Shenzhen, from the suburban to urban. I collect the daily life pictures of they think is vernacular design from the daily life by interviewing those participants. So I will use the elements and patterns to try to transform into like a pattern fabric to make it to the physical clothes. Second part is about the signified, about the language descriptions. First part, I will asking them the pictures of the vernacular design which they see in the daily life from the 50 young people from the Chinese modern cities. I interviewed them to give an emotional reply how they feel about the working and living in the big city compared to living in the city periphery, and what Too Cool offer them, why they love Too Cool. In this part, I'm trying to collect like a language descriptions. About this part, I have to explain 2 concepts. The first is the affirmative ironic, which is given by the Yi Jing. In her words, she's talking about Too Cool is the things that you can examine something to acknowledge the brilliance, physiological, and aesthetic grief. They come with the cringe, worthiness, the mass reactions of simultaneous surroundings, but also remain entirely in charge by the cringe back at dialectical conclusions. You are inclined to affirm the things, but you do not want to actually adopt it. This is where Tuku, when executed consciously, provide a layer of gentle spoof, extravagates, and brings a critical attention to tacky, made in China cultural productions and object, without falling into oversimplified, dismissive stereotype of the Make in China tech. But also I collect like an interview in the social media from China. Ben Ben is a very famous Tuku lover. She also talking about the same thing about the affirmatives ironic. I think Tuku is more like a sense of humor and sincerely face to the life. Formally, we use joking to show sincerity. Any forms of cultures that confirms the concept is also a part of Tuku, not only non-mainstream or ritual, but as a simple, lovely, accommodating unity. In fact, the spirit of Tuku is return to our true self. The second concept is the affectionate gaze. Playing on the contemporary imaginations of past circumstances, Tuku manifests itself as the propagations and reinterpretation situated in naive post-internet aesthetic. Tuku is not about trying to return to the past. Instead, it allows us to look something fondly because we have experienced and get over it. Those experiences categorizing the specific time period of memory. So very interesting is that I interview for a few people. They give me some like an emotional code. They're also talking about Tuku can be seen as a memory, which is from their childhood, like which related to the more intimate feminists. So it's quite interesting that Tuku is not only aesthetics, more than that, it's a type of memory which is connect with different communities. So for the last part is how I'm gonna transfer it to a sign within the signifier and signified. So can be seen this sign is stand for a Tuku fashion clothing, but however, it also is an emotion capture from this 15 young by the interview of the pictures I collected, but also language descriptions, but also is a platform that is a cross geographical and non-linear time narrative. It's a design platform talking about the Tuku Generation Z. So in my final project, I'm trying to design clothing, which is like a collage. I collect different material, but also the patterns. I'm trying to rebuild them and make them into these clothes. But also you can see in different of the patterns, they have a specific language descriptions, which is from the interviewers. They put in some specific points, especially for those patterns and those picture, which is given by them. I collect the signified and signified for the life experience and transfer into the sign. This sign can stand for this group of young generations, but also it can stand for this group of lover who they love Tuku aesthetic. What I'm trying to convey is that Tuku is not only like a simple aesthetics, more than that is like a symbol stand for these communities. We can know something profoundly. Thank you.